Hi everyone, welcome to project number 2 for ENC 2135, the hypertextual research essay. We want to spend the next couple of minutes together talking about an overview of the entire project and kind of a very high-level roadmap that gets us from beginning to end. If we think about a goal for project number 2, there's one overarching kind of goal we would like to reach or purpose for this project, and that is to provide you with an opportunity to develop approaches to research through inquiry by interrogating a topic and then arriving at a position supported by scholarship. And in order to do that, we're going to be putting together a multi-piece puzzle. So think about your favorite puzzle, that 1,000-piece puzzle that you love to put together, and we're going to look at this project in a similar manner. The project itself has 3 major components: the annotated bibliography, the hypertextual research essay, and then of course, much like project 1, we have a reflection or rhetorical rationale. Now each of these 3 pieces, each of these components are broken down much further into smaller pieces that help to build the larger context or project product. Along with this type of project, I want to talk about some of the affordances and constraints so you can have some expectations for what you would like to walk away with regards to engaging in this project process. The first was to allow you to develop a research project while also incorporating digital conversations within your essay. The second is, by first creating an annotated bibliography, you're going to learn the best way to fully explore research, finding the resources, evaluating them, and then putting them into conversation with each other, as well as finding your own academic voice within this essay. The multimodal nature of this essay allows you to include links to sources, to context, to videos, images, other genres, into your essay so you can more deeply communicate your message with your audience. This also allows you to explore approaches to citation methods such as MLA or APA. And then because we are approaching this project in smaller steps, you have the opportunity to effectively manage and engage with the process so that you can take full advantage of the educational impacts extending beyond the time and space of our course. Now, along with affordances, we do have to talk about a couple of the constraints. One of them being the fact that you're bound by the word count guidelines that we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes. And then the other one is you're bound by the time or due dates, which will be scaffolded throughout the next several weeks. So let's talk about the assignment itself. This particular project is going to ask that you engage with both scholarly and non-scholarly sources in order to gain a well-rounded understanding of your topic. So you must include a minimum of 7 scholarly or peer-reviewed sources, and we're going to break down what that means throughout the next several weeks. You're going to be including 3 non-scholarly sources. Now these are minimum. You can always go over. And then you're going to include 5 digital components that will be used as hyperlinks throughout your essay. These are things like images, other text, video, etc. Again, like we said earlier, to help engage your audience with the topic. So let's talk about the different pieces and parts. The first part is the annotated bibliography. And this is the research part of your essay. When we think about an annotated bibliography, we think of it as a list of citations that allows you to gather your research in one place and begin to put them in conversation with each other. So an effective citation for our annotated bibliography is going to include 2 things. 1, a perfect citation in whichever citation format you choose to use, such as MLA or APA, and then a short paragraph. And this paragraph is going to include 3 things: a summary of your source, a connection to your argument, and then a connection to other sources. Now we'll get into the annotated bibliography all by itself in the next 2 weeks. This particular paragraph is not a place to include heavy quotes. Rather, it's a quick paragraph in your own words. And by putting it in your own words, you are able to parse through these different pieces. What is it that this particular source is trying to say in connection with my argument, and how does it talk to my other sources? Part 2 is the hypertextual research essay. That means we're going to begin to put these things together. Once you've collected your sources, the drafting process begins for the actual essay. First, you stake a supportable claim or position for your essay, rooted in the inquiries you made as you selected your topic, found the sources, and grappled with them. Next, you're going to find links, images, videos to incorporate that help extend your conversation or argument in some way, in addition to fitting into the scholarly conversation you develop using your sources. Now, there's a couple of questions we would want to ask ourselves as we begin to draft this essay. The first is, what do I want to argue? How does my research support my argument? Because we are doing a hypertextual, multimodal project with this particular essay, we also need to incorporate or include or think about how the links, images, videos add to my argument. Did I group my sources into my content? What is the so what of my essay? And who is my audience and why? As stated before, one of the constraints of our particular essay is to consider the word counts. And we do need to reach each of these word counts in order to be considered for full credit on this particular project. Your annotated bibliography will run you between 1,000 and 1,250 words. The hypertextual research essay will run between 2,000 and 2,500 words. And then your reflection or rhetorical rationale is going to run at least 500 words. That brings a grand total of 3,500 to 4,000 words for this entire project. Now, after all of that, you may be thinking, really? But I don't want you to panic. We're going to be doing this particular project together step by step. So your only challenge is going to be to make sure that you maintain the weekly goals set forth in our course. So there's going to be a lot of project management that goes along with this particular piece. The good news is we have a community of people to work with. We have each other. So there's a lot of opportunities to collaborate, exchange, to support each other's success throughout the next 6 or 7 weeks. So let's break it down just a little bit more. Let's talk about the topic. What can I write about? The possibilities truly are endless. I want you to think about something that you're passionate about. This could be something within your major. This could be something that you're just really curious about. What you want to consider is make sure that you're interested in it. Are there any current social issues that you would like to know more about? What is your current field of study? Are there any areas in that field of study you would like to research? Those of you who know what your major is, what area within your major would you like to know more about? For those of you who don't, think about a possible avenue and begin to look at areas you might want to know more about. Remember, you're going to be making a claim, so your topic must be made into an argument. That means that you must research and then pick a side. While you'll be acknowledging and including a counter-argument to this is not a time for wishy-washy language. Now, this is completely open-ended, but what you have to realize is once you are invested in this and you've done the research, it's going to be really difficult to switch. So a lot of your process, your brainstorming, is going to need to happen up front to make sure that you're actually able to, one, find the number of scholarly sources needed for this particular project for your argument. So before you truly decide on that argument or truly decide on that topic, please make sure that the resources are available for you to complete it. One great way that I have found to start thinking about or looking at what's out there are TED Talks. Other possible ways to brainstorm are just to Google things that you're interested in. Just play. Get on there and see what's out there. Before you truly decide on your topic, I want you to do a little bit of reflection on your own, and I want you to consider, why does your topic interest you? Why do you want to learn more about the topic you listed? Within the topic, what do you want to know more about? And why does this topic you identified from your reading and other sources hold meaning to you? Once you've done that, you are ready to develop your proposal for project number 2. And that means in about 150 or 200 words, you're going to answer the following. Discuss your topic and your interest in this topic. What are the questions you would like answered through your research of this topic? Be specific, as this is going to guide your research and allow you to come to an effective argument. Discuss how you will manage this project to ensure you are able to walk away with an effective and meaningful learning experience. Now, it may feel like we are jumping into warp speed on this one, but we will be walking through and going piece by piece together. So a couple of helpful tips for this particular project. I want you to think about your composing process and how you'll begin to manage this project. Keep up with the weekly goals designed to be valuable smaller pieces necessary for the larger goal. Immediately communicate any challenges or setbacks you may be experiencing. Give yourself the time to embrace and engage with this project. Please be careful not to just pick a topic thinking that this is going to be the one. You really need to do some upfront research to make sure that this is going to be an effective topic for you. Reach out to our class community for help and support. And finally, may the force be with you, and we will see you online.